LCID stock has gained about 45% since the last 6 months, but today, the 1st of March 2022, it lost about 13%. This is owing to bottlenecks in parts supplies, and the car maker now expects output to be in the range of 12,000 to 14,000 vehicles compared to the previous projection of 20,000 vehicles per year. So in some limited cases, they are evaluating additional opportunities to move production in-house to drive further efficiencies. They believe they will move past these bottlenecks they are experiencing in the next few months, with further improvement in the second half of this year 2022. So the company said reservations for Lucid Air have surged to more than 25,000, or surged to more than 25,000 from 17,000 in mid November last year 2021. It is expanding its manufacturing facility in Arizona, also known as AM1, to address the rising demand. Lucid also said it plans to set up a manufacturing facility in Saudi Arabia, its first international production site. This facility will have the capacity to produce up to 150,000 vehicles annually. Peter Rawlinson, the CEO, said the move will bring Lucid as much as $3.4 billion in value over 15 years. In the fourth quarter, Lucid's revenue jumped to $26.4 million from $3.6 million a year ago, but analysts surveyed by Capital IQ expected $59.9 million in sales, so that fell short of the expectations. Still, higher sales contributed to a reduction in per share loss, which narrowed to $0.64 from $11.11 a year earlier. The market consensus for the same number of analysts was for a $0.36 loss per share. So yeah, that loss that they had was actually worse than was expected. So looking at what's going on technically with the stock, we can see, obviously, as I pointed out, it lost 13.77%. And since it ran up that gain, this is when the news that its orders had climbed. Yes, as at the mid November of last year, that was when the reservations surged to more than 25,000. That was when we also had this peak of this all-time high of $55.33. But since that time, after that, it started to pull back. At some point, we thought we were in safe hands. It pulled back and got support from its 10-day moving average on this daily chart, but and sprang up again. It looked like a short squeeze. It looked like a short squeeze. This is definitely, it ran up this huge gain. Then short sellers shorted it, and it got support from its 10-day moving average, and then buyers also bought that dip and took it almost close to where it was before, just a few cents shy of that, and moved sideways, and also attempted again, got somewhere also close to this sort of second high, but since that time, the short sellers took advantage, and they have just plunged the stock downwards. Even though at some point again, the buyers returned again, and this time around they couldn't take it that high anymore. They could only take it up to 45.49, but since that time, it's been a downward retracement. So we expect the stock to continue, given what's going on right now, given the fact that it's cutting production from the projections of 20,000 to about 12 to 14,000. We expect the stock to trade between between this 28.98 and 17.91. That's the range we expect it to trade within the next couple of months. So yes, that's pretty much what's likely to happen. It may or may not be. So expect it to trade within this range. It's not a very narrow range as such. So Current short interest for the stock is 18.5%, which is relatively okay, at least more than 10%. Even though by current estimates that's not enough, market participants really want to see short interest in the range of 30%. But what is obtainable with LCID stock is 18.5%. So on this daily chart, momentum is improving. Also accumulation is also improving as well. So the readout here says LCID stock appears to be improving within a longer term upwards trend, okay? Even though it lost 13% today, the 1st of March 2022. Although it's presently below its 200-day moving average, that average is rising due to prior gains in LCID stocks. Additionally, the MACD, which is used to measure the near-term trend, is above zero. It's also lagging the S&P 500. Momentum is improving. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors begin to purchase LCID stocks. But today they dumped it a bit. So the volume for this session of the 1st of March 2022 was heavier than usual, trading 62.708 million shares versus an average of 36.291 million shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interests. So buyers are buying more now. They've started to buy, but their interest is not as much as it was before. So LCID stock lost 13% in this session of the 1st of March 2022, and they have cut production. They have got 2022 production outlook amid bottlenecks in part supplies, and they also plan more capital spending to fund expansion. So we expect it to trade between $17.91 and $28 or thereabouts. So see what you make of LCID stock, and thank you very much for watching this video.